Yeah, we don't want to talk about it. We're gonna get through this. That's the
opportunity while I was there of being the accountant for Floyd Mayweather for a number of years.
Oh, wow.
And just unbelievable experiences when I was working with him. I mean, stories that I can share, stories there. There'd be 4 or 5 very expensive sports cars out front of our building and 20 people coming in and sitting down and going through the various items that we needed to, but always very flashy, very, very out there. You know, but something that many people, it's public knowledge, not sharing anything that's not out there, but something many people don't realize is he suffered a lot through his life with depression, something that he's struggled.
Floyd Mayweather recently became emotional after reports emerged that law enforcement is seizing investments estimated to be worth $600 million. The investigation began shortly after he boldly claimed on social media that he had purchased 62 buildings in Manhattan, a statement meant to showcase his immense wealth and real estate expertise. However, the situation quickly spiraled out of control when it was revealed that the properties were not registered in his name. Once that lie was uncovered, the FBI launched a deeper investigation into his financial dealings. This led to several of his other assets, including properties and bank accounts, being frozen due to suspected links to fraudulent activity.
To making sure that the homeless situation is cleaned up. This is one of the ways that they're doing it, and it looks like there could be possibly lots of different ways to scam the system.
And Floyd Mayweather is a provocative and controversial figure, but I think this article may make people think about him differently.
At the moment, the assets, allegedly worth over $600 million, are completely locked down. They cannot be sold, transferred, or accessed in any way until the investigation determines whether Floyd Mayweather is the legal owner. The entire situation was triggered by Floyd himself after he chose to publicize a supposed real estate deal. He shared multiple videos flaunting the properties and proudly claimed he made a massive purchase in Manhattan. His tone was confident, even boastful, and the content was clearly designed to impress his followers. However, reactions came swiftly, and the attention soon took a serious turn.
Into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings, all belong.
Fans quickly flooded the comment sections, while media outlets picked up the story, turning Floyd's bold claim into headline news. The sheer scale of the announcement drew attention far beyond the boxing community. However, once authorities began verifying the ownership records, the truth became undeniable. None of the buildings were registered under Mayweather's name. What started as a flashy flex soon unraveled into a potential legal nightmare.
Floyd Mayweather Jr., there's a story circulating that Business Insider did talking about this $400 million property deal that he had been discussing here in New York City. But now, according to Business Insider, it's not what you think it is. They said there's no evidence there's been a sale of these properties, and it's 62 rental apartment buildings in Upper Manhattan.
That discovery didn't just damage Floyd's credibility. It set off a chain reaction. Federal investigators, already familiar with his long history of financial boasts, saw this as a red flag and a reason to dig deeper. They began combing through his older financial records and quickly moved to freeze additional assets connected to him. As of now, nothing can be accessed or moved until a full audit is completed. What makes the situation even more serious is that Floyd has openly stated in past interviews that real estate has become his primary source of income since retiring from professional boxing. With those accounts now frozen, that cash flow is effectively cut off, at least for the time being. And with a lifestyle as lavish and high maintenance as his, that's no small setback.
How in 36 months, of course, with one of my new investments, I would be making $300 million a month. But
what investment is that?
Just in real estate.
I got you.
And I'm heavy in real estate. I'm real heavy in real estate. Even though, you know, I got my own liquid, and if that means cash for those, I break it down in layman's terms. Even though I got.
To make matters even more complicated, This financial crisis struck just as Floyd was gearing up for one of his boldest moves yet. A $700 million bid to acquire a stake in the NFL's New York Giants. He wasn't doing it alone. Partnering with real estate investor Mir Orbach, the two were set to lead a group effort aimed at purchasing a 10% share in the team. With the Giants valued at over $7.5 billion and known as one of the NFL's most historic and iconic franchises, the deal would have marked a major milestone in Floyd's post-boxing business ventures. To show his commitment, Floyd had reportedly moved $200 million into escrow, signaling how serious he was about the investment.
He misunderstood. He just wanted to be treated fair. Right. And this is for any team that's watching right now. We'll make them a deal. If they sign AB and AB go through the whole season, no problems at all. And then they got to give us $20 million. But if he mess up, then we got to give them $20 million. So if any team want to match that, reach out to us.
That plan, however, is now in serious jeopardy. Not only is Floyd's financial status under intense scrutiny, but his investment partner, Mir Orbach, has remained noticeably silent in recent days. When approached by a reporter for a statement, Orbach issued only a vague response, saying that he and his partners are always exploring various business opportunities, including team ownership. He declined to provide any further details. Under normal circumstances, such a statement might not raise red flags, but given the timing and the unfolding controversy, many see it as a sign that there may be more going on behind the scenes than meets the eye.
Life returns. Like, over his lifetime, he's going to make $300 million off the deal. It just doesn't make sense, especially with the amount of power players in NYC who would have already bought those 62 units if it was so lucrative. The white guy would have easily bought those 62 units up. And this is where I think the bigger understanding comes in. Because if you don't know, the true owner is Black Spruce Management. Mayweather at most holds a minority ownership stake and likely through a financial vehicle with options.
Naturally, this silence has only led to more questions. Why hasn't Orbach confirmed whether Floyd is still involved in the deal? Why the hesitation to publicly clarify details if everything is above board? At this point, no one knows for sure, but the longer the silence drags on, the more suspicion it fuels. What was once seen as a power move into the sports ownership world is now clouded by uncertainty, and the situation grows more uneasy by the day.
If you know how much money you got, you really don't have no money. So if you know how many buildings you got, you don't really have no buildings. So I think I own right now somewhere upwards of 100 buildings or more. And in 99% of my buildings are in New York.
Floyd once famously said, "If you know how much money you got, you really don't have no money. So if you know how many buildings you got, you don't really have no buildings." He then went on to estimate that he currently owns upwards of 100 buildings, with about 99% of them located in New York. But that bold claim has only added fuel to fire. Months ago, boxing promoter Eddie Hearn publicly questioned Floyd's financial stability during an interview, saying, "I don't think he has the kind of money he says he has. I'm not saying he's broke, but with how much he's spending and how often he does exhibitions, it makes you wonder." At the time, Floyd brushed off the remarks with a laugh, saying, "Hearn always has something slick to say." But in light of recent events, Hearn's comments suddenly seem a lot more grounded in reality.
When these guys carry on and they do the exhibitions and all that kind of stuff, it just sort of diminishes the legacy a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And that's what I feel like's happened with Mayweather.
Why do you think he does those things, though? Do you think
for money?
I
don't think he's got the money he says. That's what I think.
You think he still needs the money?
I don't
after
think
all
he
these
needs
years?
the money. But you know when you got that lifestyle, right? So when you're spending what he's spending.
Others in the boxing world have echoed concerns about Floyd's financial standing. Analyst Rick Glazer noted that while it's hard to believe Mayweather is truly in financial trouble, the rumors are coming from credible sources. He described the situation as deeply rooted, more than just a misunderstanding or PR blunder, suggesting that it could be a serious issue with potential to escalate. Then, just as things seemed like they couldn't get any messier, Floyd posted a new video online promoting a cryptocurrency called a set, which is based in Thailand. In the video, he encouraged fans to invest in the coin, promising a range of rewards. $100 cashback for investments of at least $20, a live Zoom call with him and the coin's founder, and even one of his WBC championship belts. The most eye-catching offer, however, was a private training session with Mayweather himself, which would be awarded to one lucky investor.
I mean, it's the new wave. It's what everybody's doing. And I started, of course I started with boxing, but then of course now it's real estate. My real estate portfolio is crazy, but I'm truly blessed. I'm truly blessed. And if cryptocurrency is the new wave, you know what?
The kind of offer Floyd made, especially from someone who usually doesn't give much away for free, raised immediate suspicion. Why would Mayweather tie himself so closely to a cryptocurrency that few had ever heard of? And why offer so many rewards, especially ones involving significant sums of money? To many, it appeared to be a desperate attempt to generate quick cash. Given the timing of the offer, those suspicions don't seem all that far-fetched. When you step back and look at the broader picture, it's clear this isn't just about a single lie on Instagram. It's a series of questionable decisions, financial red flags, and a lack of transparency. Floyd may still be publicly smiling, dressing like royalty, and speaking as though his wealth is infinite, but behind the scenes, the foundation seems to be crumbling.
And it doesn't even hurt his record.
Because of the drug of boxing. Just
also
like
money.
Just like but I don't even think he don't need any money.
He spends so much money.
Yeah, but he don't need any.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Floyd good.
I bet if he's planning for the future, you got to keep it coming in if you're going to keep spending the way he spends.
Yeah, but I think he has a lot of other business interests that he can get money from.
Hopefully.
And not just...
There's a real possibility that more of Floyd's assets could be seized, more deals could fall apart, and additional claims about his finances could be disproven. It was only recently that employees at Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Los Angeles staged a walkout after going unpaid for weeks. But they didn't just quit quietly. They organized a protest outside the gym with signs and microphones. One sign read, "The money team has no money," while another asked, "Hard work, dedication, and then what?" Some went even further, calling it labor trafficking and modern-day slavery. These weren't just dramatic statements. They were the words of employees who felt they had reached their breaking point.
No, this for real. Hey. No pay!
Where's Money Mayweather? Hard work?
Dedication!
No pay!
Money Mayweather where? I don't see you.
Rent won't wait. I got bills to pay. Rent won't wait.
According to the Daily Mail, multiple employees at Mayweather Boxing and Fitness claimed they hadn't been paid for weeks, including trainers, front desk staff, and management. There was no back pay, no responses from the company, and some even feared retaliation for speaking out. Despite this, they chose to take the risk, feeling silence for far too long. One vocal staff member summed it up by saying, "Even if you work for a different company and you ain't getting paid, you're scared to speak up because you know how businesses do. They silence you and fire you since everything's at will for them." Mayweather's gym became just another example of that harsh reality. Only this time, it came with Floyd's name attached.